Good morning, everybody, and welcome here to a raucous Jersey Mike's Arena on the campus of Rutgers University as we're getting you set for the start of the 2023 NJSIAA Team Wrestling Championships, as we'll be focusing here on mat number 3, the Group 3 state final between the number 11 ranked Warren Hills Blue Streaks, 17-3 on the season, and the number 6 ranked Delsea Crusaders, the defending Group 3 champions, 25-1. Hello everyone, I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us here for our continued broadcast coverage of the Team Wrestling Championship Tournament on NJ.com, your exclusive broadcast home for the Winter Championship season in the NJSIAA. So it's a rematch of last year's state final that was contested at Franklin High School and saw Delsea win 28-27 over Warren Hills. Delsea is led by head coach Greg Sawyer. Warren Hills is led by their head coach, David Sabricia. Delsea, the number 1 seed in South Group 3. They defeated Absegani, Seneca, Jackson Liberty, and South Plainfield to make their way here to Rutgers. Warren Hills were the number 1 seed out of North 2. They defeated Beckton, West Essex, Cranford, and Old Tappan. We will begin today at 144 pounds. For Delsea, it's going to be Michael Stokes, the junior. And for Warren Hills, it's going to be Michael Drazik, the senior. So we are underway here on mat number 3. Delsea is in their red singlets, while in the white with the blue trim is Warren Hills. Drazik went for an early shot as both wrestlers are locked up with one another. 30 seconds into the start of our first bout here at 144. Stokes won a 9-1 bout in this matchup against Warren Hills earlier this season. It's the second meeting between the two sides, as it was all Delsea back on January 20th, a 39-15 win against Warren Hills. As that's going to be a whistle for stalemate. 1:04 left to go in a scoreless first period at 144. Drazik lost a 5-2 decision against Delsea back on January 20th. Stokes won a 9-1 major. Drazik going to take the shot there on the right ankle, trying to maneuver around. Still scoreless, 35 seconds left to go in the first. No advantage yet for either wrestler. Here in the first period at 144, getting underway. Now the 2-point takedown is awarded. 2-point takedown, as that is going to be given to Stokes. Michael Stokes of Delsea scores the takedown, takes the 2-0 lead, as now we come up on 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. And the first 2 minutes are going to be in the books here, with Stokes on top of Drazik, 2-0. Delsea has won 3 state titles in program history, 1991, 2015, and then last year, 2022. They have dominated their road to the state finals, having won their previous 4 playoff matches by an average of 49.5 team points. They're coming off their 12th South Group 3 sectional championship and have taken a lead here as it's 15 seconds into the start of the second period. At 144 pounds, it's still a 2-0 lead for Stokes, who's riding on top of Drazik. Drazik had a tech fall win in their semifinal win against Old Tappan on Friday night at home at Warren Hills. We were broadcasting coverage of their sectional championship against Cranford a couple of nights ago earlier in the week, a 41-21 victory that gave Warren Hills their 7th sectional championship in school history. 1:10 remaining here in the second. Still remains a 2-0 lead for Delsea's Michael Stokes. Stokes still riding on top as Ethan Drazik was the one who began on bottom to start this second. Ethan Drazik, a sophomore, 4-5 on the season for Warren Hills. The Blue Streaks looking for their third state championship in school history, first since '97. 45 seconds left to go as Stokes still in control against Ethan Drazik. .35 seconds remaining here in the first. Stokes putting Ethan Drazik on his back, getting the near fall points counted off. Delsea starting off in a strong march here. 24 seconds remaining. Can Stokes provide a pin to start Delsea off with 16 points in a first bout at 1:44? And he does! A pin for Mike Stokes with 16 seconds left in the second period at 1:44. And Delsea will take the lead at 6-0. A second period pin for Michael Stokes of Delsea. And Delsea has captured an early advantage here in the 2023 NJSIAA Group 3 Final. As now we head to 150 pounds. So already again, Delsea on top. Now it's Shamar Dixon Jr. going against Ryan Lundy. Lundy is hit with a stall. Stall warning. 34 seconds into the start of this second bout at 150 pounds. Jamar Dixon is ranked number 5 in New Jersey here at 150 pounds. He won by pin in his earlier meeting this year against Warren Hills. Lundy was the victim of that pin. Dixon drops Lundy and scores the initial 2-point takedown. Again, if you're just joining us, fans, Delsea opened up this team final with a pin produced by Michael Stokes at 144 pounds against Ethan Drazik. Now we're here in the second bout. 46 seconds left to go in the first period at 150 pounds. Jamar Dixon leading 2-0 against Ryan Lundy. Lundy, a senior for Warren Hills, 18-9 on the season. He won by pin in his semifinal showdown against Northern Valley Old Japan on Friday night. Lundy gets the escape to cut his deficit in half, 2-1. 25 seconds and counting left to go in the first. Dixon trying to hold on to one leg of Lundy, drag him back into the middle of the mat. 10 seconds left to go. Dixon cuts out the leg, drops Lundy down again for his second takedown. It's a 4-1 margin as the first 2 minutes are in the books here in the first period at 150 pounds. Great sound emanating throughout Jersey Mike's Arena here at Rutgers as 4 different state finals are being contested all at the same time. We're here on mat 3 for the Group 3 state final. Delsea, the defending champs, in a rematch against Warren Hills, who they bested by a point a season ago. Delsea on top, 6-0. And it's going to be another stall against Lundy. That's going to be a point this time for Dixon, who stretches his advantage out to 6-1. Dixon trying to aim for another shot. Both wrestlers go out of bounds to the lower portion of the mat. 1:33 remaining here in the second. Today's broadcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics, providing world-class in-network care throughout the state of New Jersey. Visit RothmanOrtho.com. Dan Glong, so happy that you could join us here on NJ.com, your broadcast home for these state finals. First time that we're having the wrestling championships here inside Jersey Mike's Arena. The final day of the team portion of the wrestling season in New Jersey before we move towards the individual portion with districts, regions, and then eventually Boardwalk Hall and the individual championships. 1:05 left to go in the second. Still a 6-1 lead for Jamar Dixon, the sophomore for Delsea. Lundy getting pushed out of bounds to the right side of the mat, right in front of his Warren Hills sideline. Again, Lundy and Warren Hills in their gray and blue, while Delsea in their red and white singlets. 52 seconds left to go. Dixon's been in control from the beginning. Again, Dixon won by pin in the first meeting between Lundy. Lundy now latched on to the right leg of Dixon, trying to hop up in one air. 30 seconds left to go. Pushed out of bounds as Lundy goes out. Lundy has been hit twice with stalls. Has surrendered a point his last time. He's got to be careful. 25 seconds left to go in the second. "15 seconds now left to go. Again, it's a 6-0 lead right now for Delsea. This is the second bout of this Group 3 state final. 5 seconds left to go in the second period. A 6-1 lead for Jamar Dixon, the number 5 ranked wrestler in the Garden State at 150 pounds, as that'll end the second period with Dixon in front by a margin of 6-1. Even if Warren Hills cannot win this matchup, this would be huge if they could save themselves some team points as well. Neutral position and start for both wrestlers as we're just into the start here of the third period at 150 pounds. Dixon looking for the opening. Lundy fending him off. 6-1 advantage for Dixon in the red. Rotates around, uses that speed, gets the takedown. Stretches his lead to 8-1, cuts Lundy away. He's looking for a potential major. Quickly gets another takedown just on the edge of the circle. Now it's a 10-2 margin. This would right now be in an area of a major win for Delsea. 10-2 margin, 1:26 left to go in the third. Dixon actually lost a 4-3 decision in his state semifinal match against South Plainfield the other night. An overall duel that Delsea won going away 52-6 against the Tigers. Delsea looking to repeat as Group 3 state champions. They've been a team on a mission. Another stall against Lundy of Warren Hills. Another point for Dixon of Delsea. As now, right now on the scoreboard, it's an 11-3 margin. 58 seconds left to go for Dixon of Delsea. Lundy goes for the shot. Dixon counters with that 2-point takedown. 13-3 lead for Jamar Dixon. The outstanding sophomore for the Crusaders of Delsea now has a 10-point lead. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Now a stall warning against Dixon riding on top of Lundy. Again, the first meeting back on January 20th ended in a pin for Dixon of Delsea, so if Warren Hills loses here, they would save themselves 2 team points compared to what they gave up the first time around. Now potentially dangerous. Whistles a stoppage to that play. 34 seconds left to go. Here in the third, 150 pounds. Second bout of the morning here. After Delsea began with a pin by Stokes over Ethan Drazik. at 144 pounds. 10-point margin right now with 25 seconds left to go in the third. Lundy trying to avoid giving up some dangerous back points here near the end. 15 seconds left to go. 13-3 margin for Jamar Dixon of Delsea as he was in the lead from start to finish. An impressive 13-3 major decision has given Delsea a 10-0 advantage through the first two bouts of this 2023 Group 3 final. So Delsea with bonus points in the first two wins. Delsea in front 10-0 after the pin at 144, the major at 150. As now we'll head to 157 pounds in our third bout of this Group 3 final. Warren Hills, 17-3 on the season, have won 5 bouts in a row coming into this match. Their last loss came against Delaware Valley, who's going to be wrestling for the Group 1 championship in our afternoon session. Delsea has won their last 11 bouts on the season. Their lone loss coming against number 1 ranked Del Barden, as they lost against the Green Wave on January 20th, 64-6. Since that point, they have been flawless, 25-1 on the season. At 157 for Delsea, it's Salvatore Marchesi, and for Warren Hills, it's Cody Miller. Marchesi, a freshman, won by 3-1 decision against Warren Hills back on the 20th. Cody Miller, a senior, 23-8 on the season, lost by that 3-1 margin, and is coming in off an 11-3 major against Oltapan in the state semis. Still scoreless here, 40 seconds left to go in the first at 157. Marchesi in the red and whites, Miller in the white and blue. "20 seconds left to go. Both wrestlers still without a point in the early vestiges of this bout at 157 pounds. Miller goes for the shot, trying to pick up his counterpart, but both wrestlers go out of bounds in the process with 8 seconds left to go to the right side of the mat. Five seconds remaining in the first. And it will remain scoreless between these two wrestlers at 157 pounds after the first 2 minutes of action. Delsea trying to look for their 4th state championship in program history. Began their championship tradition in 1991, had to wait a bit before getting their 2nd state title in 2015, but they've become a power since then, winning last year, dispatching South Plainfield again throughout the course of the playoffs. And now to start off the second, here's a cradle. Miller putting Marchesi in the cradle. Got near fall counted off. It's holding 2 right now. Miller looking for more. Putting the Crusader in his clutches. Again, near fall being counted off. Delsea trying to avoid an upset here at 157. Again, they won this matchup by decision last time in January. Warren Hills looking for a huge turnaround, flipping this weight class and trying to get the ultimate 6 points in bonus points. Instead, it'll be simply just a near fall of 3 points awarded. So Cody Miller gets his 3 back points. Marchesi doing a good job of keeping away from surrendering the pinfall victory. 55 seconds left to go in the second, as the Warren Hills wrestler Cody Miller, the senior, looking for what would be his 24th win of the season. Now Marchese gets a 2-point reversal. From bottom, he cuts that 3-point deficit down to 1. It's 3-2. 30 seconds left to go in the second here at 1:57. Now Marchese trying to run into a bigger move and expose Miller potentially to his back and garner his first lead of this bout at 1:57. Using that leverage, putting Miller to his back. Near fall, now being counted off. 5 seconds left to go here in the second. Time will expire at a 3 near fall there for Marchese. And he's turned a 3-point deficit now into a 5-3 advantage heading into the start of the third period. Literal twists and turns going on in this bout. Miller had the Delsea freshman on his back and was close to getting a win by pin, which would have been enormous for Warren Hills. And then Marchese flipped the script, got a takedown, and then put Miller to his own back and got the 3 near fall just before the end of the second. 15 seconds gone by here in the third. It remains a 5-3 lead for Delsea's freshman. Marchese in the red, Miller for Warren Hills in the blue and white. Both wrestlers out of bounds to the right side of the mat. Watching all the coverage here of the 2023 NJSIAA Team Wrestling Tournament. This is the Group 3 state final. Delsea ranked number 6 in our NJ.com Top 20, taking on number 11 Warren Hills in a rematch of last year's final. That was a 1-point win for Delsea. Still remains a 5-3 lead for Marchese of Delsea as we come up on the final minute of the third period here at 1:57. Miller's got to get going as Cody Miller trails by 2. Warren Hills has dropped the first 2 bouts. They lost by pin at 1:44 as Stokes pinned Ethan Drazik. And then Dixon defeating Lundy on a 13-3 major at 150 has given Delsea back-to-back bouts to start off this championship. Miller takes a look at the clock to see how much time he has remaining. It's only 30 seconds. He's down by 2, 5-3 margin. It was a 3-1 win in the first meeting for Marchese of Delsea. In a position for a decision here. Both wrestlers just locked up around each other's shoulders, now out of bounds, and a stall warning hit against Warren Hills' Miller with 14 seconds left to go in the third. Miller's got to go. 10 seconds left to go here in the third. Marchese holds him off and gets the takedown for the insurance and a 7-3 decision. Delsea wins the first 3 bouts and will now stretch their lead to 13-0. A 7-3 win at 1:57. Today's broadcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the exclusive sponsor of NJ.com's New Jersey High School wrestling coverage. So Delsea has won the first 3 bouts of this Group 3 final. As we head to 165 pounds. Now at 165 pounds, Tyson Derenberger of Delsea taking on Michael Drazik of Warren Hills. Derenberger putting Drazik to his back. gets the takedown and takes a 2-0 lead. Derenberger, a senior, won by forfeit against Warren Hills back on January 20th. Derenberger comes off a 5-3 decision win in the state semifinals against South Plainfield. Michael Drazik, one of the top wrestlers here for the Blue Streaks. The senior, 25-4 on the season, lost a 5-2 decision in a matchup against Delsea back on January 20th. Drazik comes off a 15-0 tech fall win against Oltapan in the state semis. Derenberger leading 2-0. 30 seconds, now 4-0. With under 30 seconds left to go here in the first period. Got the initial takedown and the 2 near fall. Still working here against Drazik. Briefly had back points counted off. 15 seconds left to go here in the first. 4-0 lead for Delsea's Derenberger. Looking to extend his lead here in the final seconds of the first at 165 pounds. As Delsea trying to go on a run here to start off this Group 3 final. And that'll end the first period of action, a 6-0 lead for Tyson Derenberger. Derenberger will begin on bottom to start off the second period at 165 pounds. Thanks so much for joining us for our broadcast coverage here on NJ.com. 4 different state finals going on right now at the same time. High Point versus Governor Livingston, Camden Catholic versus St. John Vianney, Jackson Memorial versus North Hunterdon, and here Delsea taking on Warren Hills. Delsea has won the first 3 bouts, a pin at 144, a major at 150, and a decision at 157. In control here, 6-0. 40 seconds gone by in the start of the second as Drazik of Warren Hills riding on top of Derenberger of Delsea. In that first meeting of the season back on January 20th, Delsea won 9 of 14 bouts in the overall duel. Crusaders won all 9 bouts in a row from 144 to 106 pounds and produced bonus points in 6 of those 9 wins. Well, we began here today again at 144, and Delsea has won 3 in a row and have picked up bonus points in 2 of those first 3 wins. 54 seconds left to go. 54 seconds left in the second here at 165, and Delsea's Derenberger still in front by a 6-0 margin he enjoyed after the first period. He's been on bottom here the whole time as Michael Drazik has been trying to ride him out. Derenberger trying to prop himself up, looking for the escape to stretch his lead potentially to 7-0. Drazik still holding on to him from behind as now Derenberger tries to slither his way back inside the red portion of the mat. 20 seconds left to go in the second. It remains a 6-0 lead for Delsea's Derenberger in the red. Out of bounds, whistled, 7 seconds remaining in the second. Five seconds remaining. Derenberger could not get up and out just in time as time expires, but he maintains his 6-0 advantage here as we head into the third period at 165 pounds. Derenberger with the option will elect to start on bottom once again to begin the third. Six-0 lead for Derenberger. Michael Drazik of Warren Hills, he knows he's got to get going here for any hopes of getting back in this bout. He's got to expose Derenberger to some near fall points and have some opportunities for shots. Derenberger has just been so good at working defensively on bottom. Now it's going to be a stall warning against Warren Hills' Michael Drazik, who looks at his coach incredulously why he was called for that. Drazik knows he's not getting anything done against Derenberger. With Derenberger on bottom, he cuts him free to have him neutral. 7-0 lead. Now for Derenberger, Tyson Derenberger, the senior for Delsea. Drazik locks on, scores his first takedown, gets on the board, and now that margin is 5, 7-2. 1:10 left to go in the third period here at 165 pounds. One minute left for Michael Drazik to try to get some work done. He trails by 5. Tyson Derenberger led 6-0 after 1. There were no change in the score after 2. Derenberger got one escape point given to him by Drazik. Now Drazik's going to be looking again to cut him free. Back to neutral. Should be an 8-2 advantage right now for Derenberger. 35 seconds left to go. Derenberger does lead by 6. Drazik running out of time. 30 seconds left. Drazik 25-4 on the season, but in danger of suffering his second loss against Delsea here this year. Now a stall warning against Derenberger. His first warning. Drazik looking for his second takedown. Only 18 seconds remain in the bout. Here in the third at 165 pounds. Delsea trying to make it 4-for-4 start here in the Group 3 state final. 8 seconds left. Derenberger in control. He leads 8-2, and he will hold on for the 4th consecutive win for the Delsea Crusaders here at the Group 3 state finals. (8-2) decision victory here for Delsea's Tyson Derenberger. And Delsea has jumped out in front by a team score of 16-0 after the first 4 bouts here at this 2023 Group 3 final. Delsea has won a pair of decisions, have won by pin, have won by major. And starting off quickly here at 175 pounds as well with a takedown. Jared Shoppy, one of the stars in this lineup for the Crusaders of Delsea, taking on Luke Dugan of Warren Hills. Shoppy, who's committed to wrestle at Lehigh in the future, was a standout in the football gridiron as well. Shoppy ranked number 3 in New Jersey. Wrestling here at 175 today on top of Dugan, 2-0 in the early takedown. Potentially dangerous? No, they're going to say not only that, but a penalty point. So Dugan will get the benefit of that call and get his first point of this bout at 175. Jared Shoppy won a 5-2 decision against Warren Hills at 175 pounds back on January 20th. Won a 4-0 decision against South Plainfield in the state semifinals. Luke Dugan is a senior, 1-1 on the season. Won a decision in the state semis, but will lose by pin against Shoppy here with 59 seconds, all that elapsed in the first period at 175. Second pin by Delsea here today at the Group 3 state finals.
I've been playing sports since I was in 6th grade. This one field hockey game I was in, I moved a
and
certain way
Delsea
too
is
fast
dominating
to
here
my
in the early
ACL.
goings.
And so my trainer talked to my mother, and he suggested Rothman Institute. I felt really comfortable with my Rothman doctor because he was honest. He wasn't like, oh, it's going to be over before you know it. He was just like, listen, this is what you need to do to get better. It's been 5 months since my surgery, and I'm in a good place. I'm just excited to be on the field again.
World-class in-network care throughout the state of New Jersey. Visit RothmanOrtho.com. £215 weight class. Rocco Bennett for Delsea, scoring a takedown against Jared Pantuso of Warren Hills. Rocco Bennett is a junior. Won a 6-2 decision against Warren Hills back on January 20th. Pantuso is a senior, 26-2 on the year for Warren Hills. He lost that 6-2 decision against Rocco Bennett in the first meeting and quickly trails here just 34 seconds into the start of the first. He trails 2-0. Delsea has started 6 for 6 here in the first 6 bouts of the Group 3 state final. Pantuso gets free for the escape, cuts his deficit in half to 2-1. We come up on 1 minute into the start of the first period here at 215 pounds. We began today at 144 pounds, and just like in the first meeting, it has been all Delsea. Delsea won the first meeting by a final score of 39-15. It's 26-0 here. Pantuso tried to catch Bennett, threw him to his back, but both wrestlers went out of bounds. 27 seconds remaining in the first, 2-1 lead. Still for Bennett of Delsea. He is in the red singlet. Pantuso for Warren Hills is in the white and blue singlet. 20 seconds remaining here in the first at 2:15. We're on mat number 3 here inside Jersey Mike's Arena at Rutgers University. When these two met last year in the state final, it was at Franklin High School. Time will expire. The first 2 minutes in the books here at 215 pounds with Delsea's Rocco Bennett, the junior, on top of Jared Pantuso, the senior, by a score of 2-1. Two. As Pantuso, starting with the escape, level the score after, again, it was an early takedown scored by Bennett in the opening seconds of the first. So 2-2 right now here at 2:15. Warren Hills looking for their first win of this state final, trying to flip a result from last time as well. They lost in this matchup 6-2. "30 seconds gone by. It still remains 2-2 here in the second period. Jared Pantuso, one of the best wrestlers here for Warren Hills, trying to take his first lead. 26-2 on the season. One of those 2 losses, though, against Bennett. Approaching 1 minute left to go here in the second at 2:15. It remains tied at 2-2. Coming up on 50 seconds left to go. It still remains 2-2 the score. Pantuso went for a shot low, was fended off there by Bennett. Both wrestlers run out of bounds, run into one of the officials. They're holding on fast. 2-2 the score, 35 seconds remaining in the second here at 215 pounds. Delsea in control in this overall team duel. Tied up here, 2-2 in this match at 215 pounds. 20 seconds left to go. Pantuso went for the shot. Bennett again with a good defense. 10 seconds left. Here in the second. 2-2 the match at 215 pounds. Delsea leading the overall contest 26-0 in the team scoreboard, but this has been one of the closest contested bouts so far in this group final. 2-2 heading to the start of the third at 215 pounds. Bennett, who has wrestled at 285 throughout this season, now wrestling here today at 215. Have to think that Luke Maxwell is going to be awaiting at 285 upcoming. 3-2 lead now for Bennett as he got the escape to start the third. Both wrestlers in the neutral position. Pantuso still looking for his first offense. Pantuso trying to push forward. Stall warning hit against Bennett. 3-2. Still the lead for Bennett. Has a takedown and an escape accounting for his 3 points. Now a stall hit against Pantuso of Warren Hills. Pantuso has a pair of escape points accounting for his 2 points. Pantuso only produced 2 points in the last meeting as well. 1:05 left to go here in the third at 215 pounds. Pantuso and Warren Hills desperately looking for a result. Delsea has been doing an exceptional job of wrestling in front. All championship final long. They lead 3-2 here in this bout at 215 pounds with 40 seconds left. That's going to be another stall, though, against Bennett. That's going to deadlock the score at 3-3. But then, quickly, Bennett with the takedown in the top left corner of the bout of the match. He will retake the lead now at a 5-3 margin. So he had just surrendered a point to tie it up at 3-3, but then with a takedown in the top left corner of the mat has given Rocco Bennett back the lead, this time at 5-3 with only 30 seconds left to go in the third here at 2:15. Now a whistle for a clasp. That's going to be another point for Pantuso. So now Pantuso knows he trails by 1. If he gets up and out, he'll tie it up at 5-5. Bennett will try to ride him out for the remaining 23 seconds. Pantuso to his feet. Pantuso is let free, and Pantuso has tied it up at 5-5. 15 seconds left to go here in the third at 2:15. Time will run out, and we will head to overtime. Pantuso, the benefit of that collapse call, and then allowed himself to get the tying point on the escape. Next takedown wins. Pantuso sending him to his back, and he gets the pin as well. Not only does he win, but he also produces a pin in overtime. So Pantuso wasn't looking good near the end of the third, was down 5-3. A clasp and an escape gave him the 5 points to force overtime. He not only secured a takedown, but finished it off with a pin, and Warren Hills gets their first win of the Group 3 final. Pantuso with an exciting come-from-behind victory, and bonus points at that, puts Warren Hills on the board. They now trail 26-6. Maxwell quickly going to work here at 285. Delsea looking for a pin immediately to respond to the Pantuso pin at 215. Luke Maxwell, the senior, one of the leaders. Won by forfeit against Warren Hills last time. He'll get the pin here. Less than a minute into the start of the first period at 285 against Connor Clardy of Warren Hills. So Maxwell, one of those standouts on the gridiron as well for Delsea, did the job there at 285. So back-to-back pins we saw at 215 and 285. The pin by Pantuso at 215 got Warren Hills on the board. They trailed 26-6, but then Maxwell with a quick pin 25 seconds into the start of the first period at 285 has once again extended the lead for Delsea back to a 26-point margin. (32-6) now the lead for the Crusaders as we head to 106 pounds. Gage Summers taking on Augie Zemretta. Summers in the red for Delsea. Zemretta in the blue and white for Warren Hills, and Summers scores the takedown. In this matchup between these two wrestlers back on January 20th, Summers came away with a 12-4 major. Zemretta gets out of the grasp, gets the escape, cuts his deficit down to 2-1. At 106 pounds here in the Group 3 state final. Warren Hills, the number 11 ranked team in New Jersey, taking on number 6 Delsea. Delsea trying to repeat as Group 3 state champions. They handed the Blue Streaks a 28-27 loss a season ago in the Group 3 final. Delsea has been a team on a mission. Only one loss this year came against the number 1 ranked team. We'll see here on Mat 3 in our afternoon session. They lost to Del Barton. 2-point takedown again for Summers, who now leads 4-1. 5 seconds left to go in the first. Not allowing Zemretta to get that escape just before the period ends. And it's a 4-1 lead for Gage Summers of Delsea. Today's broadcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the exclusive sponsor of NJ.com's New Jersey High School Wrestling coverage. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by our entire broadcast crew here at Rutgers University. We have 4 different broadcasts all going simultaneously, covering all different state finals here in our morning session at the home of the Scarlet Knights. One point for the escape there by Summers to start off the second period, 20 seconds in to the start of period number 2 at 106. Delsea has won 7 of the first 8 bouts here against Warren Hills. Warren Hills' only win came at 2:15, a come from behind victory, a pin in overtime by Jarrett Pantuso. Summers tries to take that shot, being held off by Zemretta. Zemretta won 23 matches so far this season for the freshman, 106-pounder for Warren Hills. But he's coming off a sudden victory loss, 9-7, against Oltapan in the state semifinal round, as well as a loss against Cranford in the broadcast we brought you on earlier in the week against Cranford. Another 2 points there for Summers. Grows his lead to 7-1. 45 seconds and counting left to go here in the second period at 106 pounds. Summers of Delsea leading by 6, 30 seconds left to go here in the second. Summers coming off a win by pin in his state semifinal showdown against South Plainfield. Summers not able to control there. Both go out of bounds in the lower right-hand corner. Only 11 seconds left to go here in the second at 106 pounds. Caution as Summers moving a little too early before the referee's whistle. 5 seconds left. Zamretta still on bottom for Warren Hills. He'll trail 7-1 as we head to the third period at 106 pounds. So if this result holds, Delsea will have won 8 out of the first 9. That's a 1-bout difference from the first time these two sides met back on January 20th. In that first meeting, Delsea won 9 in a row. The only change was that win by pin by Pantuso at 2:15. Summers won a major against Zamretta the first time. Right now, this would simply be a decision. Leads 7-1 as we're coming up on 30 seconds into the start of this third period. Still Summers riding on top of Zamretta. Augie looking for an opportunity to get up and out. Summers trying to gain that leverage, get a run in here. Try to expose Zamretta. But Zamretta scampers out of his grasp and gets an escape. It's now a 5-point margin at 7-2. 50 seconds left to go here in the third at 106 pounds. Both wrestlers in the neutral position. Zamretta trying to hold off Summers. Zamretta scores the takedown. His first takedown of the bout. 37 seconds left to go here in the third at 106. It's a 7-2 lead for Gage Summers. He had just led 7-1 moments ago, but an escape and a takedown for Zamretta now keep this an opportunity. 22 seconds left to go in the third. Zamretta riding on top of Summers. He needs to expose him to his back to maybe draw level. 10 seconds left to go. Summers defensive wrestling right now on bottom. He leads 7-4, and it will be a decision nonetheless for Summers and Delsea. He won by major last time in this matchup. He wins by decision here, 7-4. And Delsea will win the 8th bout in the first 9 bouts between these two schools here in the 2023 Group 3 State Finals. Delsea on top 35-6 now on the team scoreboard as we move to 113 pounds. Blaze Verdino of Delsea taking on Davey Reinhardt of Warren Hills. No takedown awarded. Reinhardt doing a good job of rotating around. Reinhardt in the white and blue. Verdino in the red and white singlet. Still scoreless. 1 minute gone by here in the first period at 113 pounds. "45 seconds as both wrestlers searching for an opportunity for a clean shot. Blaze Verdino, a junior for Delsea, lost the 7-1 decision against Reinhardt when these two wrestlers met on January 20th. Verdino comes in off a pinfall victory against South Plainfield in the state semifinals. Reinhardt also won by pin against Northern Valley Old Tappan in the state semis on Friday. This is a must-have bout here for any chance for Warren Hills. They trail 35-6 on the team scoreboard. Only 4 bouts remain. That's going to be a whistle. The stoppage still. No points after the first 2 minutes. Time running short here for Warren Hills. There's a clasp. 10 seconds into the start of the second period. In order to win the state championship, Warren Hills knows they have to win by pinfall in every remaining bout here today. They trail by 29 points with only 5 bouts here. Because of that clasp call against Reinhardt, that's a point given over to Delsea, and now another one, so it's going to be a 2-point advantage for Blaze Verdino. Davey Reinhardt, 26-7 on the season for Warren Hills. He trails 2-0. If Warren Hills cannot get a pin, then at least a tech fall would keep hope alive. But they need to have really 5 pins in a row to finish off what would be an improbable comeback. They trail right now in this bout at 113, 2-0. 1:05 and counting left to go in the second. 35-6, Delsea's lead. The Crusaders looking to finish off their team portion of their season, having won their last 12 consecutive duels and finished the season 26-1. Reinhardt has still not scored. 40 seconds left to go in the second. Both wrestlers tossing each other to the top right corner. No takedown. Both wrestlers out of bounds to the right side. Verdino still for Delsea, leads 2-0. 20 seconds now approaching here left in the second at 113 pounds. Verdino has done a very nice job after making the adjustments after the first matchup. Saw him lose 7-1. He'll lead 2-0 heading into the third here at 113. And Warren Hills needs to get going here with only 2 minutes left to go. Anything short of a tech fall will assure the team state championship for Delsea. Verdino will allow Reinhardt to start on his feet to begin the third for the escape. Two 2-1 lead now for Verdino of Delsea. 1:45 left to go. Here in the third period at 113 pounds, will Delsea clinch a state championship after this bout at 113? Stall warning against Verdino. Reinhardt scrambling here. He knows he's got to go full throttle. Trailing by 1:25 left to go here in the third at 113. Reinhardt throws Verdino to his back, putting him on his back. Back points being counted. Reinhardt gets the pin and keeps hope alive for Warren Hills. That's exactly what the Blue Streaks needed. Not only a win, but a win by pin. It's still an uphill battle, but hope is still alive and well for the Blue Streaks, who now trail on the team scoreboard 35-12 as we go to 120 pounds. Big move there by Reinhardt when he needed it, with coming up on just a minute left to go in the third period. Reinhardt wins by pin as we head to 120 pounds. So it remains Warren Hills still alive mathematically, But in order to win the state championship, they have to win their last 4 bouts now by pin. Xavier Stokes will wrestle here for Delsea. Stokes, a sophomore, lost a 3-2 decision the first time around against this man, Charlie Piccioni. The sophomore, 26-5 for Warren Hills. Piccioni in the blue and white, Stokes in the red and white. Scoreless here through the first minute of the first period at 120 pounds. Xavier Stokes lost a 3-2 decision in the state semifinals against South Plainfield, while Piccioni won a 4-3 ultimate tiebreaker in his semifinal match against Old Japan. "35 seconds remaining in a scoreless first. Piccioni trying to push forward. Stokes now pushing him backwards. 25 seconds left to go. Piccioni looking for an opening. Stokes holding on to his wrist. 10 seconds left to go in a scoreless first here at 120. And that first period will come to a close with no score between both wrestlers. We began this state final in Group 3 at 144 pounds. Delsea with a pin. Delsea would win by major at 150. A decision at 157. A decision at 165. Then pin at 175. A major at 190 before Warren Hills would get on the board with a pin and a come-from-behind fashion in overtime at 215. Delsea would pin quickly at 285. Win by decision at 106. And then just moments ago, Warren Hills won a third period pin at 113. Delsea has won 8 of the 10 bouts that have been contended as we're down to the final 4. Still scoreless no more as Piccioni gets free for the escape to take a 1-0 lead. Stokes trying to get Piccioni up in the air with one leg. He's hopping up just on his right leg now in the top left corner of the mat. 1 minute gone by here in the second period. 1-0 lead for Piccioni of Warren Hills. I'm Dan Long, high atop here at Jersey Mike's Arena, high atop mat number 3, where we reside for the 2023 Group 3 state final. Delsea trying to repeat as state champs and bring home their 4th state championship in program history and 3rd since 2015. Warren Hills in hopes of bringing home their 3rd state championship in school history and 1st since 1997. Piccioni of Warren Hills still on top 1-0 as we approach the final 20 seconds of the second period at 120 pounds. Ten seconds left to go. Still it remains a 1-0 advantage here for Piccioni of Warren Hills as we'll head into the start of the third period at 120 pounds. Today's broadcast is presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the exclusive sponsor of NJ.com's New Jersey High School wrestling coverage. Piccioni trying to give Warren Hills their 3rd win of this state final, but now the escape has been given to Xavier Stokes. So Stokes has now leveled the score at 1-1. Anything short of a tech fall will clinch the team state championship for Delsea here after the 120-pound bout. In the previous bout at 113 pounds, Davey Reinhardt knew that he had to get the pin, got a pin in the third period. Can his teammate Piccioni do the exact same thing? 1-1 the margin. 1:20 left to go here in the third period at 1:20. 35-12, the team lead for Delsea. Stokes holding on behind the back of the leg. Piccioni trying to rotate around. 58 seconds left to go here in the third. Again, a state championship can be delivered here, even in a loss, if it's just not by a pin. For Xavier Stokes, 1-1, stalemate, whistles a stop with 42 seconds left to go in the third. Warren Hills coming off their 7th sectional title in school history. They snapped a long drought last year winning a title. They repeated as sectional champs after defeating Cranford earlier this playoff run. They've also been dominant in their run to Rutgers, winning by close to 43 points per duel. Delsea has been even more dominant, winning by an average of 50 points. Coming up on the final 10 seconds here of the third, we've had one bout go to overtime so far here today. Warren Hills won in a pin in that overtime at 2:15. Third period comes to a close. 1 minute put on the board. 1-1 the score here at 120 pounds. Charlie Piccioni, the sophomore for Warren Hills. Does he go outside his comfort zone and try to go for the big play and the big move that could give his team a chance at a pin? A simple takedown would end this, but would also lock up a state championship for Delsea. Stokes trying to hold off Piccioni. He's trying to fight his way forward. Approaching 30 seconds left to go in the first minute of overtime. Stalemate whistle. Stokes almost getting put to his back by Piccioni. Now it's going to be the two. There's the win for Warren Hills. But in the process, Delsea has already clinched the Group 3 state championship despite the loss in overtime. There in the sudden victory overtime at 120 pounds for Warren Hills' Charlie Piccioni. Delsea leads by 20 with only 3 bouts remaining here. 126, 132, and 138. They have assured themselves back-to-back Group 3 state championships. Warren Hills now back-to-back wins at 113 and 120. They have now won 3 bouts here in the first 11 bouts of this Group 3 final. So Piccioni wins in overtime. Alex Zimmerman for Delsea versus Tyler Redfield at 126 for Warren Hills. Zimmerman races out to a 2-0 lead after he secures the takedown. Redfield in the blue, Zimmerman in the black. Zimmerman getting some back points counted. Alex Zimmerman, a senior, lost a 5-3 decision against Warren Hills. Lost to Tyler Redfield in the first meeting. Zimmerman is coming in off a 6-3 decision in a win against South Plainfield in the state semifinals. Tyler Redfield, a sophomore, 22-7 on the year for the Blue Streaks of Warren Hills. Won by pin against Old Japan in the state semis. Redfield gets the escape, cuts his deficit to 2-1 with 50 seconds left to go in the first period at 126 pounds. Still a 2-1 margin 30 seconds left to go here in the first at 126 pounds after Zimmerman scored the initial takedown. And again, an escape for Redfield. Zimmerman once again looking for the 2. 15 seconds left to go. Still not the 2 given. Now the 2 is officially given to Zimmerman. Stretches his lead to 4-1 with under 10 seconds left to go in the first. Both wrestlers go out of bounds to the top of the mat. With 5 seconds left to go, the escape was given to Tyler Redfield. So Redfield will be down a takedown as we head to the start of the second period at 126 pounds. 4-2 lead for Alex Zimmerman, the senior for Delsea. So Zimmerman, as rest of his senior class, will leave as 2-time team state champions for the Crusaders, taking this Crusader program to new heights in the last couple of seasons. Able to defeat Warren Hills here. We expect a bigger margin than maybe they did a season ago. They had locked up last year's state championship after the second to last bout and then forfeited the last match to then win by just 1. They locked up the state title with 3 bouts to go this season. Redfield riding on top of Zimmerman. He trails 4-2, 30 seconds into the start of the second here at 126. "40 seconds into the start of period number 2. Redfield still riding on top. It still remains a 4-2 margin that Zimmerman enjoyed after the first 2 minutes of action. Zimmerman with a pair of takedowns in the first. Stalemate now whistled, stopping the time with 1:07 left. Again, in this morning session here at Jersey Mike's Arena, 4 different wrestling finals were going on at the same time. High Point took on Governor Livingston, Camden Catholic taking on St. John Vianney. Jackson Memorial faced off against North Hunterdon. And on mat number 3, where you're with us, Delsea taking on Warren Hills. Delsea has already clinched the Group 3 championship. Warren Hills trying to finish strong, though. They trail on the team scoreboard 35-15. Tyler Redfield trying to find an opening here against Zimmerman, as we're coming up on 35 seconds left to go in the second. Redfield has control of that left arm behind Zimmerman. And now one shoulder blade was down. Briefly, back points were being counted off. Now again, back points. And now a whistle stopping, as that was potentially dangerous, as Redfield was trying to move Zimmerman over from the left to the right side of the mat, expose him and prop him forward. But again, it was putting that shoulder in a very precarious position. Warren Hills were upset that that stopped.
Since I was in 6th grade. This one field hockey game I was in, I moved a certain way too fast and tore my ACL. And so my trainer talked to my mother, and he suggested Rothman Institute. I felt really comfortable with my Rothman doctor because he was honest. He wasn't like, oh, it's gonna be over before you know it. He was just like, listen, this is what you need to do to get better. It's been 5 months since my surgery, and I'm in a good place. I'm just excited to be on the field again.
Tyler Redfield of Warren Hills, so he's come from behind. He trailed at one point 4-1. With that takedown and near fall, now it's a 6-4 lead for Tyler Redfield, the sophomore, looking for his 23rd win of the season for Warren Hills. Zimmerman will begin on bottom. 19 seconds left to go. Here in the second, Zimmerman trying to get to his feet for the escape. Redfield holding on to him. 10 seconds left to go in the period. Zimmerman trying to rotate around for a late takedown here in the period. Redfield doing a good job of riding him away. And that will end the period with a 6-4 advantage for Tyler Redfield of Warren Hills. So Redfield, with that execution of an escape, takedown, and back points, has now taken a 6-4 lead after being down by as many as a 4-1 margin earlier on in the first period. Just begun the third. Zimmerman went for the shot, was blocked off on a takedown of his own for Tyler Redfield. Redfield leads 9-4. Redfield defeated Zimmerman 5-3 in a decision back on January 20th. Now leading by 5, 9-4. .40 seconds into the start of the third. Redfield still in control on Zimmerman. Redfield in the blue, representing Warren Hills. Zimmerman in the red, representing the Crusaders of Delsea. One minute remaining here in the third. Warren Hills trying to make it 3 consecutive wins at 113, 120, and here at 126. This would be their 4th one bout of the state championship finals. 45 seconds remaining. Redfield in lead against Zimmerman. 30 seconds now remaining. Here at the third period of 126 pounds. Tyler Redfield of Warren Hills try to make it 3 consecutive blue streak wins. Zimmerman trying to rally here. He's down by 5 though. And when Redfield has been riding on top of him, he's done an adept job of just avoiding giving Zimmerman a chance at getting free. 10-4 officially now after a stall against Zimmerman. And Redfield will win a 10-4 decision for Warren Hills at 126 pounds. Three straight wins, I should say, for Warren Hills, their 4th win of this championship duel. Delsea, though, has already clinched the state championship as we head to 132 pounds. They lead on the team scoreboard now, 35-18. As now we're down to our final 2 bouts of this Group 3 final as we head now to 132 pounds. Giovanni DeGeorge of Delsea taking on Josh Lee of Warren Hills. Lee in the blue and white, DeGeorge in the red and white for Delsea. Josh Lee, 24-6 on the season for Warren Hills, won a 4-1 decision against Delsea back on the 20th of January. Comes in off a 15-0 tech fall win against Old Tapan in the semifinals. Scoreless here as we're coming up on a minute gone by into the start of the first for 132 pounds. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast coverage of these wrestling team championships here at the NJSIAA 2023 Team Wrestling Finals here inside Jersey Mike's Arena, the campus of Rutgers University here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Dan Long on the call for this Group 3 state final. Warren Hills taking on Delsea. Delsea, the number 6 team in New Jersey, about to go to 26-1 on the season and cap off back-to-back state championships. Warren Hills, a good effort here today, but they will come up short as it's already been clinched. Delsea victorious here as we finish out the final couple of bouts. 15 seconds left to go here in the first. Still scoreless as Lee now getting the back points counted off against DeGeorge. Lee looking for a pin. Will he get it in time? DeGeorge rolls over onto his chest to avoid the pinfall loss, but he does surrender 5 points in the process. A 5-0 lead for Lee as we head to the start of the second period at 132. Today's broadcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics, providing world-class in-network care throughout the state of New Jersey. Visit RothmanOrtho.com. 5-0 lead for Warren Hills' Lee. DeGeorge now trying to push Lee forward to score his first takedown, and does. He gets on the board. It's now a 5-2 lead. Lee with the escape stretches his lead now to 6-2. "30 seconds into the start of period number 2. Delsea won the first 6 consecutive bouts before Warren Hills got on the board at 215. They've won 3 in a row at 113, 120, and 126, and trying to make it 4 in a row here at 132. Lee in control here for Warren Hills. He leads by a 6-2 margin. One minute into the start of the second, it remains a 6-2 lead as both wrestlers in the neutral position. Still a 4-point lead for Lee of Warren Hills, with under 40 seconds now left to go as he quickly tries to rotate around the back of Giovanni DeGeorge of Delsea, wrestling here at 132 for the Crusaders. "20 seconds left to go. Here in the second, Lee once again trying to get his shot in, extend his lead that currently resides at a 6-2 margin. Stall morning against DeGeorge of Delsea. Lee looking for his 25th win of the season. And it will be a 6-2 lead for Josh Lee of Warren Hills heading into the start of the third period here at 132 pounds. Delsea not only went on that run to start off winning the first 6 bouts, but also got bonus points, which is what they did the first time around when these two sides wrestled back on January 20th. They won the first 9 consecutive bouts that meeting, but also won 6 of those 9 by bonus. Lee was briefly put to his back there by DeGeorge. Not enough, though, for near fall, so it remains a 6-2 lead for Lee. Coming up on 30 seconds left to go here in the third, and it remains a 6-2 lead for Josh Lee of Warren Hills. Giovanni DeGeorge will be riding on top as Lee will begin on bottom with only 93 seconds remaining here in regulation. This is the second to last bout of this Group 3 final. We'll end it all at 138. Began at 144. 40 seconds into the third. DeGeorge still trails by 4. A couple times he's gotten close to flipping Lee back on his back to maybe expose him to near fall. 1:05 left to go here in the third. .55 seconds left to go. DeGeorge was trying to kind of launch himself underneath to maybe use that as his leverage, as both wrestlers to the right side of the mat in front of the Warren Hills sideline. 40 seconds left to go in the third. DeGeorge trails 6-2. Working on top. Lee gets to his feet, extends his lead now to 7-2 with the escape. He's looking for more. Looks for the shot against DeGeorge. 25 seconds left to go. Stalemate whistled as now they'll head back to the middle of the block letter R in the middle of this mat here on mat number 3. 20 seconds remaining. 7-2 lead for Lee of Warren Hills. Trying to give the Blue Streaks their 4th consecutive win in a row from 113 to 132. 7 seconds left to go. And the win will go to Josh Lee of Warren Hills by a 7-2 decision. Warren Hills getting the decision at 132. Delsea's lead on the team scoreboard is 35-21 as we head to the 14th and final bout of this 2023 Group 3 State Championship Final at 138 pounds. Today's broadcast presented by Rothman Orthopedics, providing world-class in-network care throughout the state of New Jersey. Visit RothmanOrtho.com. Last bout of this first session here of this Group 3 state final at 138 pounds. Warren Hills fighting strong here near the end of their time. But again, Delsea built up too big of a lead, and they did not get enough enough bonus points to try to flip the strip here later on. Awesome boosts of Delsea taking on Sean Redfield of Warren Hills here in our final bout at 138. No score, a minute gone by here in the first at 138 pounds. Redfield won a 4-2 decision against Booz back on January 20th. Delsea has won 8 bouts. Warren Hills has won 5 here this morning. Again, now Redfield trying to rotate around, scores the takedown, and nearly was having near fall points as well, as very briefly Booz was on his back. "15 seconds left to go here in the first at 138 pounds. And the period will end with a 2-0 lead for Sean Redfield of Warren Hills. "2-0 lead for Sean Redfield as we head to the start of the second period here in our final bout of the afternoon at 138 pounds. Booz will begin on bottom to start off the second period. 15 seconds gone by. It still remains a 2-0 lead for Warren Hills' wrestler. Sean Redfield, a senior, 27-3 on the season, won a 15-3 major decision against Old Japan back in the state semifinals. Austin Booz, a senior for Delsea, won a 6-1 decision against South Plainfield in his state semifinal match. Still 2-0 as Booz has yet to get out from bottom. Now a stall warning against Redfield. Sean Redfield's brother Tyler won a 10-6 decision at 126 pounds. Sean trying to finish things off for the blue streak of Warren Hills, trying to make it 6 wins in 18 bouts here in this Group 3 final. "50 seconds left to go. Here in the second, still a 2-0 lead for Warren Hills' Redfield. Redfield in control here, but only by a 2-point margin. on that takedown he produced in the first period. 25 seconds left here in the second period at 138 pounds. A whistle, potentially dangerous, will reset both wrestlers. Warren Hills trying to finish off this duel, having won the last 5 consecutive bouts after Delsea began winning the first 6 consecutive bouts. Ten seconds left to go here in the second. It still remains a 2-0 advantage on a takedown in the first period for Sean Redfield. Booz was trying to get to his feet and get out, but he's thrown back down as the time will end in the second period. So we'll head to the start of the third period, and it still remains a 2-0 lead for Sean Redfield of Warren Hills on top of Austin Booz of Delsea. Booz riding on top of Redfield to begin this third period. 10 seconds in, still a 2-0 advantage. Redfield trying to get to his feet, even trying to turn around for the reversal. Leads 2-0. Sean Redfield looking for his 28th win of the season. He's now prone in a tough spot here, now gets his left foot back down on the mat. Booz trying to lock up underneath. 40 seconds into the start of the third. Good defensive wrestling right now by Redfield. He's given the escape, extends his lead to a 3-0 margin. 1:10 left to go here in our final bout of this Group 3 final. Delsea locked it up with 3 bouts to go. They claimed their second consecutive state championship, and it's going to be their 4th title in school history. But Warren Hills trying to end on a high note, trying to win the last 5 consecutive bouts from 113 to 138 pounds. Sean Redfield in a position here to do just that, leading 3-0 for Warren Hills as we come up in the final 40 seconds of the third period. Redfield going for the shot, pushing Booz backwards. Both wrestlers momentarily flipping over one another. 25 seconds left to go. Redfield leading 3-0. His lead grows to 5-0. So Warren Hills will win the final 5 consecutive bouts of this state final. Delsea won the first 6 in a row and claimed 8 out of the first 9 bouts and their bonus points. The thing that proved to be the ultimate succeeding factor. So it'll be a 5-0 decision at 138 pounds for Warren Hills' Sean Redfield. As Warren Hills will win 6 bouts to the 8 for Delsea. But it'll be too little too late as the Delsea Crusaders will repeat as the Group 3 champions by a final score of 35-24. Your 2023 NJSIAA Group 3 state champions, the number 6 team in our NJ.com poll, the Delsea Crusaders, by a final score again of 35-24. Delsea will cap off their championship season with an overall record of 26-1, and Warren Hills, the number 11 team in New Jersey, will finish off another remarkable season just short of a state crown, but 17-4 overall this season. Congratulations to the Crusaders of Delsea again, the victors here today, 35-24. Today's broadcast has been presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the exclusive sponsor of NJ.com's New Jersey High School Wrestling coverage. Thank you to Kevin Devaney Jr., our producer here today of our broadcast coverage here on NJ.com. It has been a star-studded affair, 4 wrestling matches all here at once inside Jersey Mike's Arena here in session number 1. We'll be back here on mat number 3 in session number 2 for the 2023 non-public A state final between number 2 St. Joseph Regional and number 1 Del Barton. That'll be coming up with a 1:30 start time at the appropriate broadcast link. So for everybody here from Rutgers, I'm Dan Long saying so long from Jersey Mike's Arena. Again, congratulations to your 2023 Group 3 state champions, the Delsea Crusaders. Take care, everybody.